Welcome to the Celetha Show, where we inspire individuals from all facets of life to reignite their faith, strengthen the family dynamics with healthier relationships, creating a productive culture for many generations to come. On this show, you'll gain so many positive tools that you can implement in your daily life to live healthier and wealthier. Listen to the end. The last point is crucial. Good evening, everyone. Good afternoon. We pray that everything is going tremendously well for each and every one of you all, our listening audience, and we are super excited, as always, to be with you all on this beautiful evening. Listen, you all, I pray that you all had a phenomenal day. Your week has started off well, and in the event you're having a few hiccups, that's okay. Just breathe, inhale, exhale, and continue to maneuver through, okay? I am your girl, Celetha, Hi Beautiful Riley, and as you all can hear the excitement in my voice, I am so excited and I am supercharged, ready to share tonight's topic of conversation with you all. We're going to be talking about the shift again, and tonight we're talking about brain dump. What? Are you kidding me? Yes, I am. We're going to be talking about how important it is to exercise brain dumping, you all. So many times we think, we overthink, we overanalyze, we just go from 0 to 100, but let's pause for a moment. Pause. Inhale and then exhale. Let's take a deep breath. Taking it in for a moment, because you all know we have great conversational pieces that are great for the entire family. And of course, we want to continue to empower, inspire, and help you all maneuver through life with some great topics of discussions and great tools to help you just maneuver as best you can. Okay, you all? And you all that have been tuning in, you know this shift is personal, and we have been engaging. You all have been giving us feedback. You've been reaching out to us on our social media, by inbox on our Facebook, just letting us know how this topic of discussion, this conversational piece has truly been a blessing. And, of course, we want to say thank you, and thank you. Now, let's go ahead and get started, because I have some good stuff we're going to be talking about it. Come on in. Give me your undivided attention if you're in your car listening in, if you're at home relaxing, lounging, if you're at work, wherever you may be. Come on in, my friends, and let's start this conversational piece. The shift, yes. Brain dump. OMG. What do you mean, Celetha? Listen, you all. Let's talk about it. So many times we receive alerts to our cellular devices, our computers, our laptops, our software telling us that it is time for a system update. And if we don't comply, guess what happens? Our cell phone will begin to move slower, our laptop, our computer devices, whatever it is, it'll begin to move slower. It won't function at its high rate of speed or its higher performance as it usually did, right? So sometimes we have a tendency to ignore. Yes, I've been there. I'll put off those software updates if it comes to my cell phone. If it comes to my laptop or my computer, yes, I'll say let me wait. I have time. And I know I'm not the only one that has done this before. Guess what, you all? We're still going to have to update our software if we want our cellular device or our electronic device, whatever it is, to perform at peak performance, so we can get the best results possible. We will have to do what? We're going to have to update that software sooner than later. Why? Because if you want to experience your cell phone, receiving all of your pictures, all of your videos, your text messages, your emails, all of those different things, you have to constantly do what? Upgrade your software. Now, let's continue on, because I'm going slow with this, right? We have to reboot it. We have to turn it off for a certain time frame, and we're not able to utilize it. If we try to force it, then we'll have to take our phone apart, take the battery out. And some of our laptops, we can't remove the battery. So, therefore, we have to literally wait, you guys. We cannot move any further, right? We will have to wait in order for our system to be updated So all of those duplicated files, all of those duplicated photos, videos, whatever it is that is causing our system, our cell phone, our laptop, our computer, even our television to go sort of slow, it has to be removed, right? It has to be reprogrammed. So let's continue on. Now, what happens when our brain is on overload? Oh, yes, we're talking about the shift. And we all talked about Rima, which is God right now word for when? A specific time. And we've been talking about the fall season, which is going to start in a couple of days. But in order for us to embrace all of the abundance that God is releasing in the earth and for us to achieve greater, we have to do some things, you all. Yes, we have to do some things. There are some things that we have to do on an individual basis. And you all know I'm always talking about self-analysis, taking a thorough look at yourself, the man, the woman in the mirror, always being accountable, examining yourself, improving, because we want the tangible things, the house, the car, the money. We want the promotion. We want all of these great things. But guess what? In order for us to maintain or obtain, and I'm moving a little fast, but let me slow down because I want you all to follow me as I'm building this story. I want you all to visualize what I'm saying, okay? We talked about receiving alerts to our cellular devices, all of our electronic devices. And in order for us to move forward or our devices to perform at a top performance or peak performance or faster rate, we have to do what? We have to honor that system, that software update, right? We would have to reboot our cell phones. We would have to wait until that software has completely downloaded into whatever device it is, and we cannot move forward. We cannot utilize it until the system has completely downloaded, and then it will restart, and then we will be able to utilize it, right? Now let's talk about our brain, because we're moving into the fall season, and it is rapidly approaching because this entire month we've been talking about the shift. And Rima, which is God right now word for a specific time, has been released. And in order for us to receive it, there are some things that we must do in preparation. So let's go ahead and continue to talk about our brain and the importance of having a brain dump. And it is so important, you all, to follow these steps that I'm going to share. Let's talk about our brain dumps. We begin to receive signals, you all. Yes, if we're honest, red flags that we need to take a break. We need to slow down. We need to refocus, realign. And oftentimes we need to stop. We need to stop abruptly. Do we listen? Or does something have to happen abruptly that forces us to do so? Wow. Think about it for a moment. We receive the signs. We begin to have headaches. We begin to be confused. We begin to become frustrated, aggravated, and anxiety kicks in. All of these various emotions. Do we listen to the signs when our brain is saying, whoa, slow it down. Take a pause. Take a break. Take a break. Stop before something major happens and you are forced to take a break. Wow. Now let's talk about the mindset. Let's talk about our brain. This is something that we all need to apply. Yes, we're talking about the shift, as I stated earlier. And yes, this shift is personal because many of us have tapped in on social media. You've inboxed me. You say, you know what, Celetha, this is personal. This is a personal word for myself. Oftentimes, when we think about going forward, we think about doing various things, we often take on more than is necessary. And when we think about the mind, we're in the moment. We have to, and I'm exercising this as well because I'm learning new things. I'm implementing some new exercises to help myself grow as an individual. And we should always want to grow in various areas of our lives. But the main part that we often miss, you all, is our mindset, our brain. The way we think, the way we respond, the way we allow our emotions to take control of us, the way we allow outside individuals, outside entities, whatever it is, control us, control the way that we think, respond, act. Let's back up for a moment. I was so fortunate to receive some information from a beautiful sister of mine in ministry, and the video that I watched is so in alignment to what we're talking about with the shift. And it talked about the mindset. It talks about how it is so important for us to stay in that moment right there. And as we're working on the mind, we're working on our thoughts. We're working on the internal instead of all of the external. When you work on the internal, everything external will draw. Oftentimes, and I was sharing with her, I said, you know what we entertain, we attract? Wow. Those of you watching us or listening in, just type that in your cell phone or write it down. What we entertain is what we attract. Wow. And oftentimes we entertain things that are not beneficial to our mind, our thoughts, our future. What you entertain, you will attract. And I was sharing with another young lady, I said, my God, this past year, I noticed myself entertaining, having type of conversations that I don't usually engage in. This is what happens when you do not protect your way of thinking. This is what happens when you begin to focus on the external and you omit the internal. Many of us, if we're honest, we've been there before. And in order for us to evolve, becoming, grow, mature, in all of these great ways, we have to deal with the internal, the way that we think, the way that we allow things into our mindset, our consciousness. If we want to speak on the consciousness, our subconsciousness, we have to process it. First, we have to receive it, then process it, then analyze it, and then take action. Some may say, well, I do it differently. What works best for you? But let's talk about this mindset. When was the last time you honestly can say, I did a brain dump? When was the last time you did a brain dump? You stopped and said, wait a moment. Let me just relieve myself of these old thoughts, old ideas, old conversations. Let me just stop for a moment and release all of this toxicity. We often talk about detoxifying our bodies from the foods that we eat. Some good, some not so good. Sometimes we overindulge. Sometimes many of us are on a wellness journey and we have a cheat day and we have to get back on schedule. So we detoxify our system, meaning we eliminate the excess. But when was the last time you detoxified your mindset? Something to think about, right? Detoxifying is removing toxins or qualities that are not beneficial, or becoming free from poisonous substances or qualities. Anything that is not beneficial to your thought process, the way that you view yourself, you view life, you view others. It can be toxic. If it is negative, if it's contrary to the word of God or your belief in God, if it causes you to act out of character or act in ways that you normally would not act, you have to examine yourself and say, what have I allowed in my gates? What have I allowed, my gates, meaning my eye gate, my ear gates? What have I been listening to? What type of conversations have I been engaging in that have caused me to shift, to move out of alignment in the direction that I'm generally going forward in? What have I allowed into my spirit man that has literally shifted the core of my being? What have I allowed to infiltrate my mindset? Wow, something to think about, right? Because the shift, yes, we want all the blessings. We want all of the external things, the money, the wealth, the fame, prosperity. We want all of these things. But there are some things that we must do as an individual. We have to work on our mindset. Once we mature in the mind, our thoughts, our beliefs, our conversation, how we engage in things that are toxic, and remove them and begin to say, wait one moment. How did I get here? How did I get to this place? It happens. Yes, it does happen. And it is so important. Once you become aware of it, that's the word. Once you become aware of it, you immediately address it. You say, whoa, wait one moment. I need to do a brain dump. I need to examine myself. I really need to grab a hold of this thing so that I can get back in alignment with my purpose, my goals, my dreams, my aspirations. I need to gather myself. I need to gather my thoughts. I really need to focus on my mind and ask my mind, how did we get here? Where did we stray off? What did I allow in my gates, my eyes? What was I looking at? Who was I talking to constantly, listening to? What did I allow in my spirit to shift me out of the position, the posture, the alignment that I am usually walking forward in? Many of us fall in error knowingly and sometimes unknowingly. Yes, we know life happens. We're talking about doing a brain dump. And I know someone may be saying, well, what does this have to do with the shift? What does this have to do with the upcoming fall season? Follow me. I'm going to show you what it has to do with it. It's very significant. It plays a powerful role. It's key. It is key. Our thoughts, our conversations. What are we speaking frequently? We often talk about detoxifying our bodies from the nutrients, the foods. We're talking about detoxifying our mind, becoming free from poisonous substances. And I'm not talking about drugs or alcohol. I'm talking about conversations. I'm talking about what conversations have you allowed to shift the trajectory of your usual way of thinking, positive, encouraging, motivating, on goal, believing in yourself, believing in others, seeing the best in life and others, in your dreams, in your goals, in yourself. What has happened? What has happened that has caused you to shift, meaning move out of position in a different direction than what you were usually on? Let's talk about it. It is so important. Oftentimes, we have to pay attention to our present. We have to pay attention to our present. We have to take a moment and think for a moment. Exhale, because our brain, it can be on overload, and we can put ourselves in a non-healthy state to where we will make not right decisions or unhealthy decisions, the wrong choices. Start hanging around or going around, being in the wrong company, engaging in the wrong conversation, as I stated earlier, entertaining things that you genuinely would not entertain because your brain is on overload. It's on go. We need to, the same way I talked about how we recharge, how we have to acknowledge that system software update, or else it's going to keep reminding us. It's not going to stop. And that's what happened with our brain, our mindset. It'll continue to remind you in many ways. And if we're honest, and if we are truly honest, we know our brain, our thoughts have warned us. We've seen things. We've experienced things. And it's like, you shouldn't be entertaining that. You should be over here. That isn't healthy for you. Don't think that way. Don't have that conversation. But guess what? We're up early in the morning diving on social media before we pray and give reverence to God. We're texting someone, hey, girl, you saw this? You on go. Somewhere you've allowed some type of toxin to enter into your gates, to shift you, to move you out of alignment. And then it begins to trigger you, upset, angry, frustrated, agitated, unable to have healthy conversations, unable to communicate effectively, just always on edge, on go, just wondering when, if someone says something, I'm going to explode it anymore. No, let's take a moment for it. Let's exhale. No, let's inhale. Let's do it this way. Inhale and then exhale. Because truth be told, many of our brains are like, I need you to stop before I stop you. I need you to slow down before I slow down for you. That's how God operates. When God wants to get our attention, he will get our attention by any means necessary. And does it feel good? Oh, my goodness. I can attest. I can testify. Nope. That's why I will often say to individuals when I will go out and evangelizing, you are better off coming to God freely, because when he has to place his hands on you and snatch you, that doesn't feel good. Those beatings, those beatings, nobody can stop them but God. We're talking about the mindset, brain dump, doing a brain dump. Don't wait for a red flag to happen. Don't wait for you to start having headaches, outbursts, being angry. And don't wait until you become overloaded. Don't wait until you begin to hit that point and you explode, and then you say, oh, my God, how did I get to this point? Stop for a moment. Your mindset is everything. We talked about the external things, but let's deal with the internal. Master your mind, your thoughts. Let them be of healthy thoughts. Yes, it takes time. You have to discipline yourself. You have to be willing. Yes, you have to be willing to do the necessary work to improve as a better individual. You have to be willing to say, you know what, I realize it's me. It's not them. It could be other individuals, but we're working internally. We're not concerned about the external. Let's deal with the internal. Let's deal with me. I started to title this My Mind and Me, because it is truly my mind, and it's me. I have to deal with my mind, my thoughts, my ways, my attitudes, my behaviors, me, myself, and I. Because we have to deal with ourselves as an individual. That is how we can improve as parents, as spouses, colleagues, business owners, children, parents, so on and so forth. That is how you can become a better individual, evolving in various areas of your life when you begin to work on the me, myself, and I. No, I'm not concerned about them. I'm more concerned about myself being healthy. Me being able to have a healthier relationship with my spouse, my significant other, my children, those I work along with, those that I'm in business with, my blessings, so I can obtain them and I can maintain them. And I'm going to talk about that even the more. What does obtain mean? It means to acquire, to secure something. And we're talking about the fall season, where God spoke to the prophets and said, this is going to be one of the one of the best blessed seasons of many individuals' lives. Best, B-E-S-T, blessed, B-L-E-S-S, not past tense. It is going to happen when? Now. But there are some things I need my people to do to prepare for it. So therefore, when they obtain it, meaning they acquire it or they secure it, they will be able to do what? Maintain it. What is the definition for maintain? I'll tell you right now. Okay? Maintain is simply when you are a good steward over something, you're able to keep possession of it. Just like a car, you're able to continue to do regular services when you receive the alert, keep in good condition, good working order, checking, repairing regularly, maintaining it. Why? Because you're more conscious of what's going on. You're more aware of it. You know how I put in the work for this. I secured it. But before I secured it, I had to deal with myself. I had to break some bad ways of thinking, operating, doing things. I had to change my perspective. I had to change my perspective. Instead of saying, well, I don't think, start to say, I believe. I believe. And the more you begin to do your brain dump, because you're going to see where all of this ties in together, your brain, you go from saying what you can't and what you want, how resistant I am, I shall, I will, I'm open to abundance. I can't attain it. Because you begin to think differently. You don't engage. What you entertain is what you attract. Let's entertain healthy thoughts. Let's entertain positivity. Let's entertain being around influential individuals who pour more positivity. And if they see a need to buff you some and say, well, no, don't do it that way, or let me show you, or they're teaching in a manner to where it touches your heart and it provokes you to change. So therefore, you're working on yourself. You're a work in progress. So therefore, you're learning how to make healthier choices, how to think thoroughly. Instead of being an impulsive thinker, you'll think it all the way through thoroughly, and then you will wait before you make a rational decision or you act rationally. You did your brain dump. Let's talk about it. You remove old thoughts. Listen, let me release this stuff. Even if it's something that is going on in your present and you're trying to move forward, release yourself from it. Let it go. We've heard time and time again when we be in friendships or relationships and it comes to abrupt end and the individuals go separate ways. They've gone on. But sometimes people have a tendency to stay stuck and stagnant in that space, reflecting over and over on what went wrong, what transpired, and then they're engaging in conversations with individuals to keep them stuck in that space, preventing them from changing their mindset or evolving to a healthier direction. So what do you have to do? You have to, in my terminology, curve it cute. Instead of doing what you used to do that wasn't beneficial or wasn't healthy, start to say, let me practice this today. I know right now there are many of you that are listening in that can say, Celetha, I need to do a brain dump right now. As a matter of fact, let me do this brain dump right now. I experienced some stuff on today. I need to release immediately, because guess what, you all? The longer we allow ourselves to think on it, it will not only affect our mindset, it begins to affect our heart. You begin to feel it. And then you feel and you think. You think and you feel. You feel and you think. And before you know it, you begin to overthink. Sometimes you begin to visualize things that are not really so. You allow your emotions to make decisions. You allow yourself to stay stuck, stagnant. So let's do the brain dump today. Say, you know what? I'm over it. It happened. I've experienced whatever it is. It could be something from your past or something right now that's taking place in your present. And you need to release it so you can live a healthier life in your mindset. Yes, we talk about the physical body. We talk about exercising, but let's exercise our mind for a moment. Let's exercise our thoughts. How do you view yourself? How do you think of yourself? What do you believe in yourself? How do you see yourself? Visualize yourself. Internal. Don't allow other individual circumstances or situations to have control or hold on you, because guess what? Those people, places, or whatever it is, they are going on making someone else's life a living hell, or they could be doing whatever it is that they do, but you're stuck because you continue to play the situation, the occurrences over and over and over again. I've been there before, you all. I've been there before, and I can honestly smile and admit it over worldwide, international radio. I've been there before. Is it healthy? No, it isn't. It can affect your health, stress, migraines, headaches, all of those things, your relationship, how you talk, you interact, respond to other people. But I thank God for spiritual growth and personal development. I really do, and I thank God for these tools that I'm sharing with you all that I was able to implement in my life in the past and continuously even in the present. Release it. Let's do these exercises. You have to release it. You have to let it go. Once you acknowledge it, you go through your emotional experiences. Don't go through it for a long extended time, because you can play tricks on yourself and keep yourself in a situation of unhealthy healing. Instead of you moving forward and progressing, you're still reflecting. No, we're not going to reflect. Learn from it. Ask yourself, what could I have done differently? What should I do? It is always a learning experience in this journey called life. Let's do the brain dump, you all. Come on. Me, myself, and my mind. I need to do this brain dump, because if I don't do this brain dump, I'm going to continue to overthink, overreact, and I'm going to be stuck in this place I do not desire to be in. And in order for me to make things happen for myself, I have to do this. No one can do it for me. No one can do this exercise for me. You see other people existing, appearing to be evolving, living, No, we want to live. We don't want to exist and appear to be evolving. That's faking it to make it. No, we're not going to fake it to make it. We're going to live a healthier life the way God has desired us to do so. We're truly going to become better. We're truly going to become healthier. We're truly going to learn how to master the way we think instead of over analyzing things, holding on to things for long extended times. Told you I'm guilty. I thank God for my growth process. Yes, I do. Because the more I look at the woman in the mirror, and I want many of you to say this as well, the more you look at the woman or the man in the mirror, you can smile more. You can laugh more because you can see your growth. And I know many of you who are listening in, you may have already experienced it, and you know what I am saying to be true. It is a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful experience, but we must, in order for us to embrace, obtain, acquire, secure what it is that God is bringing to us in this fall season, that will literally shift the trajectory of our life moving forward for generations to come. There are some things that we have to do in the process because guess what? We've been talking about it this month. We've been talking about the shift, how personal it is. Yes, I know we grew up in various areas, various childhoods. Yes, I know many of us were exposed and experienced different things. Yes, I know many of us have a traumatic past. We experienced so much heartache, heartbreak. We're experiencing things even now today. But do you know this, my brother, my sister? You can live healthier. You can achieve greater. You can obtain it, and you can maintain it. The Bible tells us, so a man thinketh. We are talking about our mind. Utilize these tools. Do the work. Utilize these exercises. No one can do it for you but you. If you truly want growth, if you truly want abundance, you truly want everything that God desires for you to have in this earth, there are some things we have to do within me, myself, I, as individuals. Whether you're a stay-at-home mom or you're someone that's on a fixed income, again, as someone that is in corporate America, Fortune 500, a millionaire, whatever it is, whomever you are, you can utilize this. That's why I always share with everyone because I want you all to see yourself in this equation. I want you to see yourself in this equation because we have to do a brain dump because our mind, which is the system, it's going to give us a system alert. And either we're going to ignore it or we're going to address it. Don't ignore it. Address it. Do it now. Stop yourself right now. So let me breathe. Let me exhale. Let me let this stuff go. It's not healthy for my body because once it affects your brain, and then you start to deprive yourself of other things such as food, your medicine, stress can kick in, your organs become affected. No, let's start with our mindset. Let's start to think of ourselves. Let's start to see ourselves healthy. Let's start to believe that we can think positive. We can think healthy. We can engage in healthy conversations. We're talking about the mindset, brain dump. Yes. This shift, it is so important. We have to shift in our way of thinking. Because if we don't shift in our way of thinking, when God does take us into this fall season, many of us will miss it. No, I'm not missing it. Many individuals will literally miss it, and many individuals will self-sabotage. Many individuals will self-sabotage because they don't want to do the work, so that they can attain the abundance that has been spoken through the work, the atmosphere, through the earth, by the prophets. They don't, I want to, it ain't, I catch it next time. Guess what? Rema means right now. For such a time, a specific time. God said this fall, 2022, is what he spoke through the servant, what he spoke through my spirit man, what he said to me this fall. There is going to be a shift. And it is going to shift the trajectory of many individuals' lives, those that have an ear and that will hear, that will listen, that will apply the instructions. We want prophecies. Prophecies come with instructions. Yes, God will give you a prophetic word, but there are instructions that are attached to it. And I guarantee you, because God said suddenly, Rema, his Rema words right now, for a set time and a set place, a specific time, fall 2022. Many will say, oh, I can't, I don't, that's your portion. And many of you that are listening, you're saying, I'm doing it and I'm doing it right now. I'm applying it right now. What else do I have to do? What else is God saying? Oh, I need to do a brain dump on it. Oh, I need to change the way I think and view on it. I need to stop entertaining different things so I can attract on it. I need to exercise, use various exercising tools when it comes to the way that I think, act, speak, on it. Oh, I'm on it. I'm not going to miss out. I'm going to receive my portion. I'm going to get what God says for me. I'm going to receive. Guess what, you all? In order to maintain it, first you're going to obtain it, right? You acquired it. And now you have possession of it. You have to maintain it. Keep it in good condition. Keep it in working order. Check on it periodically. Make sure it's operating at its best ability. That's what God wants you to do. That's what he wants you to do. It is so important. Don't entertain thoughts and ideas, people, or places that won't allow your mind to move forward. It's necessary. It is necessary in this hour that you say, I need to go on a sabbatical. I need to fast. Fasting is often something internal I need God to do. That's what it truly is. I need to hear from God concerning a certain area concerning myself. Many of us as leaders, we know. Many individuals know, oh, I need to fast. I need to hear from God concerning a certain situation, place, decision. So I need to make sure my mind can comprehend. My mind can receive. I can understand what it is that God is saying. It may not feel good, but it will work out for your good. It most certainly will. It most certainly will. And I know the brain dump is a lot to take in one session, so we're going to continue on with this conversational piece on next week, because I want you all to truly understand and grasp it in its entirety how important it is to do this exercise, the brain dump. You have to remove yourself. You have to remove all of those thoughts that are contrary to what God has spoken over your life. And oftentimes we always talk about the enemy. The enemy. No, let's deal with the I-N-N-E-R, the inner me. Because what God is doing in this season, many will be blessed suddenly. There's such a shift that's going to catapult your finances, your health, your location of living. Listen, many individuals are really going to receive some things that's going to really shift them. And they're going to smile and they're going to laugh and the tears will be uncontrollable, because guess what? They're listening, they're applying, and they are ready. Don't be one to self-sabotage. Do the work. This is a call to action I'm going to give you all. Do the work. Don't be afraid of change. Change is, listen, oftentimes change does not feel good, but change is necessary, because there is something on the other side attached to your destiny. Me and another sister was talking about destiny keepers. I thank God for many women of God, many sisters in Christ, my daughters, my children, destiny keepers that can speak a word to keep you in alignment with your destiny. Oftentimes it may not feel good, but it will work out for your good. Again, we have conversational pieces that are perfect for teenagers. Parents, begin to have your teenagers, your young adults, to tune in, because they're in a lifetime to where they need to shift the trajectory of their mindset, because they're engaged in so many different activities. So even adults, not only limited to them, adult season, everyone. We're living in a time space to where the entertainment and the religious world, you notice I said the religious world, is literally shifting the mindsets of believers, non-believers, everyone. So that is why it is so important for you to govern your mind. Govern your mind. this mind that God gave you, not an unstable mind. Yes, I know we experience many things in life. We've experienced them. So let's grow and heal and live a healthier life from our experiences. Let's not repeat the same toxic traits, the same mistakes. Brain dump time, you guys, before we close out. It's brain dump time. Those of you that are listening in and that follow us on social media, go ahead. I want you all to comment on the post. Brain dump time is brain dump time. It is brain dump. And I guarantee you, the more you utilize this small tool, this small exercise, I'll say, simply brain dump, release it, let it go. I wrote it down. This is our call to action for everyone. Release it, let it go. Don't entertain the thought, ideal people, connections to what you're removing from your mind. Let it go. I know it's a journey. You may be, because you're so attached to it. It has intertwined into your spirit. So it's going to be a process to release it. Can you release it? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Why? Because it's necessary. In order for you to obtain what's going to take place in this fall season, acquire, secure something. Once you acquire it, you know how you're going to maintain it, meaning keeping it in good condition, checking on it periodically, because you've done the work now. And someone may say, well, it may take me a while. Do the work. Start. Don't focus on the outcome. Just start. Because if you try to focus on the end and you omit what's going to take place in the middle, you already lost the one. You've already defeated yourself. Don't focus on the end. Just start right here for a moment. Let me just think on. Let me just do this brain dump. I need to release this. If I need to get this out of my mind before it affects my heart and get in my spirit, and then I begin to act unseemingly. I need to let this stuff go once and for all, so I can be an honest and truthful person to myself. Because oftentimes we have to deal with the inner, INNERME. Not we tend to blame others, but if we would exercise, if we would analyze, if we would take a moment and say, you know, I can change in this area, my way of thinking. I can change in this way of having conversations. No, I'm not going to focus on the external for a moment. Even though I'm going to continue to do what it is I need to do to maintain my lifestyle in a healthy way, but I'm going to do this exercise. I need to do this brain dump. I really do. It's way overdue. It is way overdue. Yeah, I know it. I know. God been trying to shift me to a higher level of living, a higher level of enjoying life in its fullness, a higher level having healthier relationships with your spouse, your family, your children, significant other, employee, employers. God has been doing his best to shift you, but you refuse to let some things go. And it starts right there between our two ears, our brain. We have to do a brain dump, ladies and gentlemen. We have to release those old things that prevented us from being honest, loving, truthful, trustworthy individuals. We have to release the old. We have to release the old in order to walk fully in what the newness that God is sending to us. So again, we're going to continue on this conversation. And I challenge those of you all that are listening in today. We're worldwide, international. Do the brain dump exercise and follow up with me. Inbox us. Connect with us and let us know how it's working for you. We're continuing on it because we're believing God to do some great things by September 30th. So again, on behalf of myself, my husband, David Riley, the Celetha Riley Show, we want to say thank you all for tuning in, listening to these great conversational pieces, and we pray the shift as we're preparing for the fall season so we can obtain, acquire, get what it is that we're believing God for. We can maintain it and live healthier lifestyles. See you all again on next Tuesday. Be blessed, everyone. Good night.
We're so glad you had the opportunity to join us with our inspiring conversational pieces that are motivational and will continue to push you in your faith, build your family dynamics, health and wellness, financial freedom, all of those beautiful things. To stay connected with us, make sure you visit our website at dcriley.tavalifestyle.com, or you can send us an email at dcrileyministry@gmail.com. We look forward to you all joining us again on next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Enjoy your evening and make sure you stay empowered.